Okay, so you sent over this list of titles, and wow, honestly, the sheer variety is something else. I mean, you've got things like Chicken Banana popping up multiple times right next to, more straightforward names. It's got me really curious.
Yeah, it's quite a collection you've pulled together. It's fascinating just to look at.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we thought we'd try and, well, unpack it, look for patterns, the repetitions you mentioned, and yeah, those really odd ones too. See what we can maybe figure out from your selection specifically.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
When you first glance at this list you sent, it almost feels like delightful chaos. But we're not just here to admire the mix. We want to really dig in, see what those recurring phrases, the way different styles sit side by side, or even those totally unique titles might tell us about, where they came from.
Mm,
And whether folks listening are super familiar with all these or some are brand new, the idea is to explore it in a way that's, well, clear and insightful, without getting bogged down in jargon.
right. Let's get those aha moments. So, okay, start in big picture then. The sheer number of titles here is considerable. It really suggests maybe a big body of work, or just collected over a long time.
It definitely feels substantial, and the range, like you said, is remarkable. You've got titles that sound like songs. I Put a Spell on You is right there. Harder, better, faster, stronger jumps out.
Yeah.
But then you have others that feel much more like, I don't know, project codes
Yeah.
or maybe inside jokes.
Chicken Banana fits right in there, doesn't it? That intriguing category.
Totally. And it's that mix, the familiar rubbing shoulders with the really out there stuff that makes your list so interesting to look at.
So what about those repetitions? That's something that really stood out.
Oh, definitely. That interplay is one thing, but the repetition is maybe even more telling when you look at your collection. Like Ninja Mutants showing up 6 times. 6. That strongly suggests, maybe it's a central idea, a recurring theme.
Or a project name itself, maybe different parts of it.
Could be. Or something that evolved over time. And same with Chicken Banana 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a really significant motif for you? A key element in whatever this is from?
Mm-hmm.
These repetitions, plus you got Fernway and Hook, both 5 times, and Pinbill Dryer, Supertrack, 4 times each. Those really give us potential anchors, points to consider what might be important for you in this collection.
It is fascinating thinking what those anchors could mean for the person who put this list together. And looking beyond those top ones, there's still a fair few repeated 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, quite a few.
Vintage Warrior, Harmut 3 times each. Still seems pretty important, right?
Still feels significant, yeah.
Then there's this whole list appearing twice. I Put a Spell on You, the dub track, Bullet, Lee Balude, Mariah 1 by 1, Ray Barber Brass, that one.
Yeah.
Drop It Like It's Hot, Laser Karaoke, Hot Buttered Popcorn, this too, Harmon Tetris, Sweetlight, Eclipse, Firestarter,
So,
The Sound of the Big Babu, Prism, La 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 La, Den Den Den, Tetris, Silenzia 3000, Doza Crew, Shal, Hermenda Ramler, Washing Up, Grillenman Park, Efta Switch, Veit Felder, Magnitudo, Cornholio, Volkernrit, Mimi, Tetris, Zungentrümmer, Fairmont, Rhubarb, and Pony Part 2.
that's quite the list of pairs. And even showing up twice could signal connections, relationships between different bits of your collection.
Like sequels or related ideas.
Exactly. You mentioned Pony Part 2 appeared twice, and there's a Pony Part 1 just once. That's a pretty clear sequential link right there. So seeing these pairs, it makes you ask, for yourself, what's the relationship here? Are they different stages, variations on a theme, different views on the same core thing?
Yeah, okay, so maybe we can try grouping some of these, see if that sparks any ideas for the listener. There's definitely a cluster that feels a little quirky, humorous, maybe. Chicken Banana, obviously, but maybe Butt Song from Hell, and that German one, Polizei Österreich, Police Easter Egg, that feels kind of surreal too.
Yeah, that's a great group. Thinking about those for yourself, does that point to a certain, I don't know, playfulness, a specific sense of humor in the source material?
It could, couldn't it? Placing those next to maybe more serious sounding titles.
Right, that contrast could highlight a really interesting dynamic in your collection. Is it different size of your interest?
Yeah.
Different ways of working? Maybe even different moods or periods?
And then you also have ones that sound more abstract or technical.
Yeah, like exit node, data pool, code injection. For you, those might point towards, specific technical fields or projects focused on tech.
And what about the location ones? There seem to be a few,
That's interesting too.
like Stamheim, obviously Deep Space, and even a Küstenroller, which
Yeah.
is coastal scooter in German. They kind of paint a picture.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
For you, do those titles link to specific projects or memories? Or maybe just sense a place that's important in this collection?
It could be anything, really.
Yeah, connecting back to you, the listener, having those location titles could mean context is really important here. Are they real places? Metaphorical ones? Settings for stories? And then, of course, you've got ones like the dub track. Pretty clearly musical genre, right?
Yeah, seems likely.
When you see things like Space Jam, Drop It Like It's Hot, Blue Monday, Run to the Hills, those almost certainly nod to well-known cultural stuff. Songs, probably. Movies, things that mean something to you.
Axel F. Can't forget Axel F.
Axel F. Exactly. Classic. It feels like we're peeling back layers here, finding potential meanings in your collection.
And the language mix is another fascinating bit. We mentioned some German ones, but there are more.
Definitely.
The Tonklotz, concrete block. Frollefans, which is like knickknacks or nonsense.
Yeah, something like that. Trinkets, maybe?
Rhabarberbrast, that amazing word for rhubarb, crumble. And Liebelode, which feels quite quaint. Dear people.
It does have a nice feel. So for you, this mix of languages, does it reflect maybe a multilingual background, exposure to different cultures, or just the nature of the content itself?
Good question.
This blending in your titles, for you, could suggest a really cool intersection of cultural influences, or maybe a global viewpoint in your work or interests. Then there's the numbers and special characters.
Right, like 1 by 1, G00M, E111165197.
Yeah. Those types of titles, for you, might hint at something more structured, a coded system maybe, like for organizing files or specific projects, technical specs.
Could be. And the sheer variety and length, too.
Yeah.
You've got single letters, P, S, L, right up to these long phrases.
It adds another layer, doesn't it, to figuring out what this collection represents for you.
And how they're written down, like the capitalization in this and this, too. It definitely feels different from, say, the flute tune all in lowercase.
Good point.
For you, could those little stylistic choices, caps, punctuation, or no punctuation, hold subtle clues about how important those items are in your collection?
Absolutely. The way you've chosen to write these titles, for you, could be very deliberate. That shouty capitalization might signal something really important. Makes you ask, what makes those stand out for you?
Okay, but then some of these titles are just so out there, they really make you stop and think.
Oh, yeah.
Penglitsgun, Achacharia, I mean, just trying to say it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
And a Mager Quarker Barbara.
What a word.
A true linguistic achievement.
And you can't ignore Dein Reim ist Schwein. Your rhymes are pigs. Wow.
Ha ha ha. Yes. For you, the listener, what is the story behind these really unique ones? They feel like little mysteries tucked inside the bigger list.
They really do.
These wonderfully unique titles in your collection, for you, they become focal points, don't they? They invite you to speculate, wonder about the specific context, the story that birthed them. What's the inside joke with Butt Song from Hell? What moment led to Penglitska and Achachuya? These unique ones, for you, could be keys to unlocking more understanding about your collection. So, okay, as we sort of start to wrap up this first look, this deep dive into your list, we've seen amazing diversity, right?
Definitely diverse.
These significant repetitions that probably hold clues for you, these interesting potential groupings by theme, the language mix. Yeah, some truly unique, curiosity-sparking titles.
And the crucial thing here, I think, is that, while we've pointed out patterns and offered some thoughts, the real meaning, the true context, well, that lives with you, the listener who provided this. It's a really rich tapestry of words and potential meaning that you've put together.
Yeah. So this deep dive into your titles, it really leaves us, and hopefully you, with this compelling puzzle. What story do you think this incredibly varied collection ultimately tells, and maybe more personally? What single title in this whole massive list holds the most meaning for you, and why? That's probably the question to mull over.